A podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. This is the Angry Chicken.
Greetings and welcome back, everyone. This is the Angry Chicken Brawl for Idols of Azeroth. I'm Garrett Weinzerl, and if you're watching on video, you are noticing a strange face to this show and just a missing face, or two missing faces all around. Willie Dills Gregory's on a plane heading to San Francisco as we speak. Jocelyn had something else going on today. I honestly forget. Sorry, Jocelyn. I really don't listen when you talk to me. But joining me today... Joining me today to fill in two very large pairs of shoes is none other than Justin Robert Young. Welcome, Justin.
Oh man, I'm very, very excited to do my best to be the methadone to get you, the Angry Chicken Brawl listeners, through a tremendous withdrawal of both Dills and Jocelyn. So I apologize in advance, and let's just make the best of this.
Yeah, and if you go into like a small coma, aim for the heart with that giant needle. Just do that.
Yeah, no, you stab once, not 3 times.
Well, welcome, man. Folks, if you're not familiar with Justin Robert Young, really, there's so many places to find you, but I would recommend folks go check out Night Attack.
Sure.
Which, if you're listening to this show and you have kids, maybe wait until your kids are asleep to listen to Night Attack.
It is a mature podcast filled with mature themes. We are very mature people, and we do a mature conversation. However, I will say this, that everybody who is into both the Angry Chicken and Night Attack will be delighted when they go to CreateCon this summer, because we will be there as well. Brian and I will be doing the Night Attack live as part of the CreateCon panel. So I'm very, very excited for that.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for doing my plugging for me.
Oh, well, listen, we got to help each other out. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a good time. Going to be a good party. Going to be a live Angry Chicken. Going to be a live Night Attack. Go to createconvention.net for details and tickets. Now, Justin, we are here today to talk about Hearthstone. We are here today to talk about Idols of Azeroth.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling the discussion about Idols of Azeroth will be a little short. So why don't we go a little bit off script and talk about everything frickin' else that is going on in the world of Hearthstone, because there's a lot going on.
Listen, and this is also on top of the fact that yesterday on Twitter, I led a popular revolt to get you and Willie into a virtual space to discuss all the nerf list. And I'm going to take full credit for that. So everybody who enjoyed that episode yesterday, you're welcome. I got up as soon as I saw the nerf list, and I started just pestering the both of you and threatened that if you didn't do a podcast, I was just going to call the 3 of you and just have that podcast for me personally. Thankfully, you did the right thing for the people. But even then, even after going 50 minutes talking about all the nerfs, there's yet more news that spills out into the world of Hearthstone.
Yeah, but that said, I mean, we saw this coming. We knew there was going to be a stream with Renbrode and Frodan, and the last time they did one of these, it was for the Grand Tournament, which also had a drip feed release of cards. And after, and once we had the Ben Brode Frodan, or as everyone prefers to call it, Brodan stream, once that happened for TGT, they just revealed all of the cards that hadn't been revealed so far, because it was less than a week from the release of the Grand Tournament. And that's exactly what we assumed would happen this time, and it's exactly what did happen this time. So
now we know everything that's in Whispers of the Old Gods.
Yes, right? Yes, we do. Have I digested it all? Can I answer the question you're probably about to ask, which is, what do you think about the whole set, Garrett? No, I can't. I don't have an answer for you.
I would not be so silly as to ask a question like that, but I will ask you this one: of what was released, what stuck out to you?
I mean, we're going to bring our biases into this when we watch it. So for me, I feel like I was going in to keep an eye on Shaman. Like, I was the most excited to see Shaman played. Shaman ended up being played, and it was the thing that excited me the most.
Yeah. I did not get a chance to see the live stream. What were your impressions? I mean, it got rave reviews, man. There is something that I'm very rarely used to, which is when I venture on to reddit.com/r/Hearthstone, just unrestrained praise for something coming out of Team 5. But man, lo and behold, everybody was jumping for joy with this stream.
Dude, it was fantastic. They did a really good job with it. Ben Brode streams on his own time from time to time.
He does.
So he and even like I was gonna point to that and say, well, you see, he understands how to appeal to the Twitch audience. He understands how to have an entertaining stream. But really, you don't even need to look at that. You can look at any of his appearances in any interview, on any podcast, at any tournament, and the dude is just. He's so good at holding your attention and coming across passionate, but also at the same time being funny and being into the game and being engaging.
Yeah, and being an authority, and that's really what, especially when you are looking at such a, it is an opinionated fan base because as a game creator, and we had just a barest sliver of this when creating the Contender, the card game that we made. You only have X amount of times that you can change course on things. And I think because they want to take a patient look at some of the problems based on not only what is popular opinion on the popular channels, but also what data they're seeing is oftentimes a very thankless position. And yet when Brode puts on his big Brode smile and unleashes his bellowing laugh, you are simultaneously charmed, but also feel like there is a steady hand on the wheel, which is something that is important for a game like Hearthstone.
Yeah. Yeah, and that said, obviously not everyone agrees with me or us. This is our opinion, but clearly we're fans of Brode. But he did it. The stream was really good. It went really well. It was very entertaining, and Frodan was there, and nothing needs to be said about Frodan. The guy's a professional. He's the guy to go to when you need something hosted for Hearthstone, and he's very good at what he does. So the stream was great. They played 4 games. Each time it was a different matchup, so you got to see a lot of classes. We ended up not getting to see Paladin, which was a bit disappointing to me personally because I really like Paladin, but whatever, it was great. We got to see the rest of the classes, a lot of new cards, and what cards we did not see, they showed us.
So then let's also take a look at some of the news that comes out. On release day, you'll get a quest to win 2 games in Standard, which will give you 5 packs. And after that quest, you will get another quest to win 7 games, which will give you another 5 packs, meaning that those of us who ponied up the $50 for the $1 a pack pre-release will get more packs than we otherwise confirmed, and I'm not good at math.
Also, just for logging in, you get 3 packs. If you log in during release, you get 3 packs. So there's 13 free packs up for grabs via the 2 quests and just logging in. And if you're like us and you pre-ordered your 50 packs, now you've got 63 packs coming your way.
Yeah, 13 free packs, and then the 50 that you already get. Meanwhile, we had a stunning nerf that I don't think anybody was prepared for yesterday when the nerf list came out. The sorry emote.
I forgot about that because I was so busy. You're right. What is it now again? It's like wow or amazing or something.
Wow.
It's wow.
Yeah.
Wow is which can also be used in an ironic, sardonic fashion, just as bad. Just as bad as sorry, I think.
I wonder what went into this. I am very, 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 and I haven't seen how much they addressed in the live stream, but I am very curious to see whether or not, like, what went into thinking. Like, did they just understand that is easily the meanest thing that you can do in the game, in a game that obviously wants to be concerned about a corrosive atmosphere, and so that's why they just made the emotes as opposed to just having you be able to chat with some random person that you're playing. Like,
yes, I think you answered your own question. I look at this and I'm honestly not surprised. I'm surprised that it happened. Like, it's not something I saw coming and not something I ever sat around going, or I think any of the 3 of us. Listen, we sit on the Angry Chicken. We armchair design day in and day out. Hours upon hours of us going, wouldn't it be great if this change was made or that change was made or this thing was included? I don't think we have ever once said, boy, they should really remove sorry. They should really get rid of that emote. It really makes me feel bad. But if I take a step back, look at the design of Hearthstone, all the points you just brought up lead me to believe that it's really honestly not that surprising whatsoever that emote was removed, because that's all it's ever used for. I know Jocelyn has been quoted on the show before saying that, no, I use it legitimately. If I forget to hit end turn and it goes to rope, I apologize and I say sorry. And I'm like, they probably don't take it that way, but good on, of course, the Canadian on the show is the one being earnest with the use of the sorry emote.
I have, I've seen that, and I think at times I've probably used it there before. I probably used it far more to BM. However, when I'm streaming, for which everybody can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jurystone, that this will affect us not at all, because we are, we pledge ourselves to the BJC, the Bonjour click. All we ever do is say hello. We have one emote. And it's hello, and we use it in good times and bad, because that is what we believe in.
I'm a fan of that, sir. I'm a fan of that. So, did you get a chance to look at any of the new cards? I don't want to turn this into a 6-hour stream, but were there any that popped out to you?
I to be honest with you, I was doing all kinds of prep for the other podcast that I have, so I have not taken a look. If there's anything that you want to bring up real quick, then we can go over that. But I have nothing to bring to the table because I haven't digested any of it yet.
No, not really. Other than instead of the Year of the Kraken, it should be called the Year of the Shaman, because that's what we're moving into, dude. I'm calling it right now.
So what was all right? So what are the big shaman archetypes that you are looking forward to based on the cards that were revealed?
Totem Shaman, which is an archetype I already really enjoy, and I think is really close to working. I think it's really close to being a strong deck, and they're getting even more minions in the next expansion in Old Gods. I was spacing for a second, that are gonna synergize with totems. But some of the new cards that they showed today even were really interesting, and I'm trying to find the one. Here's an interesting one, not specifically for totems, but still good for them. They have a new spell called Evolve that was just released today. It's a 1-mana spell, and it reads: transform your minions, all minions currently in play, into random minions that cost 1 mana more. So
it's a 1-cost spell, mega cheap. Obviously you are. This is something for which you need to tap your chest and forehead 3 times to pray to RNGesus that you get what you need, or at least something that will be more interesting. However, that basically means, so what, totems are 0 cost or 1 cost?
Totems are 1 cost, even though you spend 2 mana to summon
2-cost minions for a bunch of totems.
Yep, or any of your other minions.
Yeah, and then of course whatever else you can put out there and keep out there.
They're going to get upgraded in mana cost. Not necessarily. It's not a correlation. A 5-mana minion is not always better than a 4-mana minion, but roughly, that's what's happening there. So
that's really interesting. So what would you look at? As your big play? Like what is what is something that you are itching? What combo are you just really excited to unleash the day that Old Gods drops?
Well, I'm in my brain. I'm sitting here wondering. I wonder how good this actually fits into Totem Shaman, because one of the big things with Totem Shaman is getting a board. Your totems just kind of, they're innocuous, so people they can tend to ignore them, and eventually you'll have a board of totems, and then you throw down your Thunder Bluff Valiant, which has the Inspire of buffing your totem. So you throw them down, you Inspire, make another totem, and it buffs everything. So I'm not sure Evolve necessarily works there. Because if your goal is to buff with a Thunder Bluff Valiant, and you're turning them into no longer totems.
Yeah,
they're not getting buffed. But really, I think it's an interesting idea, because shamans, if you are running any type of shaman that runs Bloodlust, you're wanting to have a board. Whether it's and a lot of times, again, you do that just passively with your hero power, because that's how the shaman works. They put out these little innocuous minions that honestly can be ignored up until something bad happens, like a Flame Tongue totem comes down, giving them more attack, or Bloodlust. And Evolve plays into that archetype beautifully.
Well, and anything that does that kind of board transformation for that low of a cost will get played. It's just something that will find some kind of use because it is so cheap. And even if it is just a total crapshoot, I could certainly see this for even decks like the aggro shaman that got very, very popular about 2 months ago. If you're a few off lethal, then why not throw an Evolve out there? Just see what you get.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. So it's very cool, and it's the same kind of effect that's happening with the minion Master of Evolution that shamans are getting. That was revealed a couple weeks ago. This is the 4/5 for 4 that has its battle cry. You get to transform one friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more mana. So it's having this kind of evolve mechanic specifically for shaman, which I think is very cool. So
that is very cool.
I am looking forward to it. So
that and that is what you think will put the buffs to a totem shaman deck, and the evolve mechanic is something that can give shaman, which is already a playable class, or you saw a lot of especially with the aggro shaman, it got more playable over the recent history of the game.
Oh yeah, aggro shaman's a top.
Not top tier, right?
Yeah, but it is top tier. It is top 10, according to Tempo Storm. So aggro shaman is a very strong deck. It is absolutely something that that pros take to tournaments, and people hit legend with frequently. So it's not my cup of tea, though. When I first started playing Hearthstone, the reason I'm so into shaman was it was the first class I really kind of that spoke to me, and I built a control shaman, and I loved it. And Shaman has just moved further and further away from that point, to the point where now their strongest deck is one of the most aggressive decks in the game. And I've never been a huge aggro deck fan. So the fact that
it's a frustrating deck. I mean, the aggro mechanic, because I played a fair amount of aggro Shaman and a fair amount of aggro warrior, cancer warrior, as it was commonly called. And it's basically you take all of a longer form, in a control meta, you have varying degrees of decisions that can affect where you need to go, and you eventually need to cobble together enough right decisions to outlast the other player. Any aggro mechanic, you are condensing everything into like one. There's a decision that you make that either wins or loses you the game, because the games are so short, and you just need to have a better understanding of things. So that rage quitting is far more prevalent when you just keep running your head into the same wall. Yeah.
I'm right there with you. So I'm excited for Shaman overall. I would get into the others, but we're gonna try our best to talk about all of these cards on the next Prime episode. So I don't really want to dive in too deep.
Oh, don't you worry. I mean, wait until the big guns get back. I'm just, listen, I'm a replacement player here. I'm just trying to make it to the end until the whistle blows.
Oh no, I'm glad you made it, man. Just get a little. I don't care if it's not Brawl Talk. I've been itching all day. I'm like, I need to talk to someone about this stuff. I need to talk to somebody.
I know, man. I'll tell you what. That's why I was listen, I wasn't joking around, leading my popular revolt about y'all talking about those nerfs yesterday. I'm like, listen, either they're gonna talk to me and I'm gonna sit there silently, or I'm gonna call them. We're just gonna have a conversation. Those 12 cards 12 cards got announced, and I just hit that group text to Dills and Joce. Hey, who wants to do a last minute episode? And Jocelyn's like, well, I'm busy, but go ahead. And Dills is like, I'm leaving on a flight. We need to do it right now, or it's not happening at all. Listen, I was very, very excited. What do you think about some of the reaction? I forget who. I think it was it Reynad who went crazy about the idea that Knife Juggler is still just a broken card. That even though it is nerfed, the fact that it still is as powerful as it is something that is a problem. Like, have you? Everybody should go listen to the nerf episode to hear you guys talk about it. But have you, in digesting some of the reaction from other pros over the last 24 hours, have you thought about any of the nerfs anymore?
I have, but I don't think it's really changed my opinion all that much. Which is, let's everyone just calm down and wait and see. Far be it for me to comment on Reynad's opinions. The guy is a way better player than I am. And I feel like, Mr. Reynad gets a bit hyperbolic at times, but as someone who also tends to get a bit hyperbolic, you can't really dock him for that. So, I came away from yesterday overall extremely happy with the changes that were made, and for the few that seemed a tad on the heavy-handed side, I'm just kind of just sitting. I just want to sit and wait and see. I want to see how Rogue shakes out once Old Gods hits the street, before I say, no, yeah, you guys really screwed up on Blade Flurry, or, hey, you know what? Actually, the change wasn't that bad.
I mean, and the problem is that I don't know if we're ever really going to be able to judge nerfs like that until we see what happens not only in Old Gods, but also the adventure that comes after this. I mean, they are planning out many stages ahead, as you have to be. We would be upset with them if they were not thinking 2 years out on this game. Like, that is literally their job. And we'll see. But I agree with you. There's a lot of wait and see to this, and not necessarily put your gats away. We don't need to scatter machine gun fire on the internet just yet.
I agree. That's where I'm sitting. I'm just really excited. It's nice just being excited. It's nice. This is the first time I'm kind of sitting here. I'm feeling the least cynical about Hearthstone that I have felt in a very long time, and I kind of just want to enjoy that. I kind of want to just ride that wave.
Yeah, and to be fair to Reynad's conversation specifically, he was very specific about esports. He thinks that Knife Juggler is a frustrating card for esports, and if Blizzard wants to be serious about Hearthstone as an esport, that card is not good for that specifically. So I mean that's his thing. That's what he was yelling about, and I don't think that that's an invalid criticism.
I don't think so either. I do not think so either. So. Anyway, let's talk about the brawl. Let's do what we came here to do. Idols of Azeroth is a new brawl, so we're obviously doing an episode about it. And in this tavern brawl, you get to pick your class, whatever class you want to play, one of the 9, and then you play with a deck of 30 Raven Idols. And if you don't remember what a Raven Idol is, it's a druid spell that costs 1 mana that reads choose one, discover a minion, or discover a spell. So you have 30 cards that all cost 1 mana. Yeah, and let you discover a random minion or a random spell. Again, just to remind you, discover only pulls from neutrals and the class that you're currently playing. So, I had a lot of fun with this brawl. I had a priest daily, so I've been playing as priest, and oh my, have I had some interesting games. I've won them all as priest so far, but they've been very long. Because trying to assemble like burst or a way to kill your opponent as priest on the fly is very tough. But oh my god, can you stall out? Can you screw with your opponent in the worst ways possible?
Yeah, I primarily played druid, and then mage with this. And
now, be honest with the listeners out there. Were you playing druid just to get one last hurrah in with your force roar combination?
I was not trying to put together one last combo, for old time's sake. No, I had a daily. I had a druid daily that I wanted to knock out. So, it is obviously any mechanic or a brawl like this that is all one card. Be it. Or something similar like this with like the unstable portals or something like that. Obviously, you are going to be relying, this more than unstable portals by far, you are going to be relying so much on the pool you have to draw from in your class. So your class selection, I feel like, is very, very important. And I was excited by and then also slightly bummed with this because I just kind of felt like the more I played, the more this was just going to come down to like a kind of recipe you'd be able to just write on the back of a piece of paper of like, okay, yeah, minion, spell, minion. Like that you should be able to just have a very like Morse code draw strategy to get yourself in the right position, especially with advantageous classes.
I mean, that's it. I mean, but first, you want to talk about advantageous classes. Yet another brawl where mage is insanely strong. Yeah. Because if you find a Flame Waker, if you find a Mana Worm, you're casting a lot of spells. Also, what is really strong in this is Rogue, because you have nothing but 1 mana spells, which means if you discover a combo card, you can cast it and already have the combo because you already cast a Raven Idol to freaking find it. Yeah. So that was really strong. But that's kind of what going a little bit against what you were talking about, which was just come up with the proper order to draw things in. I was finding with this one what I really liked about this Tavern Brawl was that I was picking on the fly, at least later in the game. In the very beginning, I was just like minion, need to find a minion to play. But once we got past like turn 3 and 4, it just became Well, okay. Well, I've got minions on board. Let's get a spell, or I'm about to die. As a priest, it's like I just need to find a healing spell or something to keep me alive. And I was finding I was going with either minion or spell, depending on what scenario I found myself in.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately where the brawl is at its best. Is that you get a chance to, as it says in the flavor text. Ever wish you had a spell and you had drawn a spell when you drew a minion? Well, don't worry. Now you can actually put your money where your mouth is, and you make that decision. Raise up off our stuff. So that's it is cool when it does that. I guess in my head I'm just like, well, but you want to know what? Ultimately, you're really just looking to put things out on the board and keep them there. So it almost felt very arena-esque to me in that, like, big, strong vanilla minions are really good. Or in this specific case, because you're constantly casting spells, as people are pointing out in the chat room, Flame Waker, Mana Worm, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Questing Adventurer, anything that either reacts to spells or has a persistent board action that keeps your minions sticky are just worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, no, it's you're drawing a beautiful parallel, which is to Arena. This a lot of the rules that apply to Arena in terms of what you should be picking when you're looking at the cards you're discovering apply right here in Idols of Azeroth, because you don't know what you're going to get. You can't just take a synergy card, because you never know if you're going to find another card to synergize with it, unless it's something that's so broad like Flame Waker. All you have to do is cast a spell. Also, by the way, your whole deck is spells.
Yes.
So
or if you get a Sorcerer's Apprentice, now all of your cards you can play.
They're free.
Free immediately.
Exactly. Just deploy your hand and see what weird things you can assemble.
Nerf Sorcerer's Apprentice in the brawl.
Yes.
OP.
So a lot of times you're just picking the strongest minion in a vacuum. It's like, okay, well, if I find nothing else, this is the best card for me to grab. But also sometimes you're just grabbing them. The one thing that changes is like, well, I just need this right now because I can actually play it this turn, and I just need to get a body on the board. So it's not 1-to-1 with Arena, but really you hit the nail on the head. A lot of the same rules apply here.
Also, the idea of I wound up playing Druid a lot, and so I wound up relying a lot on mulch because that removal again is worth its weight in gold, when especially in the late game when you have really big important things out there on the board. But also because card draw is not not as advantageous as it would be in a constructed or even arena setting, because all you're getting is more lottery tickets where they'll get the opportunity, especially later in the game, to draw more stuff, but it's not like they're going to get the cards that they've been waiting for the entire game to come out of the shoe.
Yeah, I was picking Deathlord every time I found it, because it's Death Rattle, which pulls a minion out of your opponent's deck and puts it on the board. Who cares? They don't have any minions in their deck. Unless, later on, like I found a rogue. Like, obviously, if you went up against Druid and say they got like Malorn, okay, finally they have a minion in their deck. Or
oh god, what is the one that shuffles it back into the deck for Druid?
That's Malorn.
No, not the minion. But
you're talking about the spell, the bounce spell that's bounces. I cannot think of it off the top of my head because no one plays it.
Yeah. But. So and I did. Yeah. So I was one of those guys who played it, and then as a real clever guy, played my Deathlord, and then I'm like, ha, whatever, sucker, forgetting that I had shuffled that back into the deck, and so they got whatever badass minion, Recycle.
Thank you, chat room.
Yeah, I whatever badass minion that I'd shoved back into their deck immediately came trotting back out to put it right all up in my meow.
Oh, it was great. It's I think this is a fun brawl. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was just when I saw it, I was like, this will be interesting to talk about. You just kind of have to play it. There's not a huge discussion to be had here. So
yeah, Trogzor also, very rightfully being pointed out by the chat is
all the Trogs. All of the Trogs are insanely strong in this brawl. So.
But you want to know what? As much as I think that this one was fun, but not necessarily crazily inventive. Like I think that's what Brawl should be.
No, I agree. I love that we both had to use the mic mute button there just for a hair.
Of course, across the country, we synchronized our awkward pause, which is just a feat of engineering that everybody should recognize.
Yes, it absolutely is. But I'm right there with you. This is I think Brawl at one of its best. So I really enjoyed it. So bring it on.
So next week we get some kind of Whispers Brawl, right?
I thought we were gonna get it this week.
Because this was TGT, the same.
Yeah, the week before TGT came out, we had a TGT Brawl, and so this is the week before Old Gods. So why would they do it next week? I'm not gonna give a crap about Tavern Brawl next week. I'm gonna be playing with my new cards. I get them on Tuesday. Brawl comes out on Wednesday.
Yeah, they should just make Brawl like everybody gets a piece of pie.
Yeah,
let's just you queue in. And you get a piece of pie, and then your opponent gets a piece of pie, and then you both say wow to each other, and then you both explode at the same time.
I'm gonna say, we've been really excited, really positive this episode, and it wouldn't be an episode of the Angry Chicken if I wasn't negative about something. And I must say, ball dropped on this Brawl, Blizzard. This is a fantastic Brawl, but where's our Old Gods hype? Why don't we get to play with some Old Gods cards? What the hell is wrong with you guys?
I think that this is also, it is kind of fair and unfair to compare this release to TGT, because this is obviously, this is really a Sweet 16 party, a bar bat mitzvah, a quinceañera for Blizzard and Hearthstone specifically, because this is them becoming a man or a woman. Like this is something that they are the standard format. And them taking so seriously these big nerfs that people have talked about forever, eliminating cards that have been OP for so long. This is something that they need to get right, and I think that they want to give the appropriate pomp and circumstance. From here on, expansions are going to come and go, right? Adventures are going to come and go. This is a huge pivotal moment. I know for myself, for people that I know that played Hearthstone that fell out of it. This is something that I'm going back to them and saying, hey, look, come and try the game again. And I think that's what Hearthstone wants, is that this is your chance to get a fresh start, and now you will be forever caught up.
Yeah, I wish either Dills or Joce was here right now for where I'm about to steer the conversation. My issue, though, is if folks, you want to go back and listen to the episode of The Angry Chicken the week before TGT came out, where we were talking about the Brawl, where we got to play with TGT cards before TGT was available, we were talking about how we were a little disappointed because it seemed like for GVG, when out of seemingly nowhere, they just said, hey, the arena 3 days before the expansion comes out, you're going to get a ton of GVG cards before anyone can play it. So go play Arena. Just have fun with the new cards. And then we fast forward to TGT. We just get a Brawl with two really bad decks. And no way to play around with the cards ourselves, no way to kind of construct our own decks. And we thought that was a pretty sizable failure, I think, on Blizzard's part to hype us for the expansion. And now fast forward to the third expansion, and there's literally just nothing, no hype whatsoever. While the stream was absolutely 100% fantastic, such a good stream, I can't help but feel something was lost watching only two people have fun with the new cards instead of the community having fun with the new cards.
And I wonder how much of that is resource driven for them.
I'm sure a large part of it is.
That there's literally just only so many hands. And if we looked at their org chart and their responsibilities, we would say, oh, yes, no, all of you and your hands keep doing the things that you're doing. Now, whether or not, I'm sure if we were to say, hey, I wish Blizzard would have given more money to Team 5 so they could roll out this in a far grander, louder way than they had, and we would probably have nodding heads from Ben Brode and Young Woo saying, yes, we wish that we got that as well. So
I mean, way to put words in their mouth. I want somebody to take this horrendously out of context and be like, on the Angry Chicken, they said that Ben Brode and Young Woo said that Blizzard doesn't give them enough money.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, listen,
I know.
Well,
who
doesn't want more money, right? I want more money. Everyone wants more money, and I'm sure that they had that. Considering what they've done, to give them more money and more time would equal more of what we want.
Yeah.
And that is all I'm saying there.
Yeah. No, it really, and like I said, I know it comes off as negative, and in a certain way, I mean that, but it really, for me, it just comes down to that some of the past things they have done to promote their expansions have been incredible and incredibly fun, and I would just love to see them again. And I don't understand why they haven't stuck with what works.
Well, Cheesy Bob also points out that possibly the reason why there wasn't a brawl is because of the classic card nerfs, and they want to have everything just flip over at the exact same time, as opposed to duplicating their work simply for a brawl. Now, I think that there's probably ways, especially within the brawl context, that you could have gotten around that. You could have had, like, hey, look, everybody, like, it's these people weren't invited to the brawl.
Yeah, you just exclude those cards or something. But you know what? Honestly, that's a really good point. Scrub everything I just said. I'm going to chalk it up to that, and I'm going to garnish in your thing of saying there's, it's probably just not enough hands. Yes, Team 5 has grown, but they are still a very small team. And this is the changes we are going to get on Tuesday are the single biggest changes ever made to this game, and I'm sure it's just bug find, bug fix bonanza over at Team 5 right now.
And also, I don't think that there was any way. It is a sign that they care about their community and they listen to their community, that they did not want to put their community through the pain of saying, okay, well, we're going to turn on the nerfs now, and Whispers is going to come out in a week so we can do the brawl. So you would have just heard nothing but wailing and gnashing of teeth about, like, well, why can't it just happen now? If it's so easy, then why don't upvoted. Like, it's a sign that they know that they are managing our expectations to give us the best that we deserve at the time that it can be best served to us.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to roll with all of that, because that's, thinking about the possible optimistic answers sounds a whole lot better than me than thinking about the possible negative ones. So let's just roll with that.
It always is. It always is. It's a better way to go about it. And, and I think that they, this is the day before Christmas for them. Like there's a lot that could go. If Christmas were a big, scary, gigantic shift in the game, like whenever you have big, gigantic changes like this, it's got to be nerve-wracking for them.
Yeah, and you know what? I know folks over at Blizzard listen to the show from time to time. So if you're listening to this one, you're like, darn, we let them down. I only care so much because I like this game so damn much. Love this game.
Oh, I don't think. I mean, listen. It was what would I have preferred to get a? I mean, I thought, and now that we talk about, okay, well, the nerfs are certainly a part of this expansion and everything, and they are considering this one big package and not piecemeal like we have the ability to do. I would have thought, and I hope on the next expansion when things are a little settled and this is not such a gigantic change, that if you're gonna do the drip feed, then give us brawls that are specific to the cards as they get dripped to us. I think that makes things a lot more interesting and exciting. And if what you want to do is drip feed so you can sell more of those 50 packs, the best way to sell 50 packs is to just get these little endorphin dopamine hits of what is to come, because you want to make sure that you buy as many packs as possible so you get that feeling of getting that card again.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, putting a tap, I think a wrap on this whole discussion, we need to rank the brawl. We need to do what we came here to do. We need to make a rating system out of thin air. So I would give Idols of Azeroth, I don't know, I would give it like 2 out of 3 choose one spells, and maybe 4 out of 5 choose one minions.
I will rank it play Raven Idol, choose minion Flamewaker, and then play Raven Idol, choose spell. I would say
Arcane Missiles, so that you can do it early.
Arcane Missiles. Yeah, no, good. Yeah, you're right. That's what I would. Oh man, dude, Flamewaker. Then play Raven Idol and Arcane Missiles.
That's
baller.
The dream is playing Flamewaker, playing Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then unloading like 7 Raven Idols.
Exactly. And then you just,
And then every time pick arcane missiles, because those would also be 0 mana. If you get it every time. That's the dream, right? That's the dream.
That is the dream.
So that's
the
what
dream is that you just do 30 damage on a clear board. All of it in either arcane missiles or flame waker damage.
I do want to mention my dream that I had when I was playing Priest. Discovered minion, got Clockwork Giant, so I was like, why not? There's enough stuff in my opponent's hand.
I played a couple Giants. I thought Giants were a pretty rad value.
I got Clockwork Giant out, and this was like probably my 6th or 7th minion at this time. It gets assassinated by the rogue, and I'm like, oh damn, that sucks. Raven Idol, spell, resurrect, cast resurrect, Clockwork Giant comes back.
Boom. As if it never left.
That was my dream. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that's the freaking minion I got.
And that's what's so fun about these brawls is that you just get like those kind of like, because especially I think why people are so excited about Standard is that for people that play the game a lot, part of your skill is understanding what's around every corner.
Yep.
And what Brawl gives us the opportunity to do is enter a world where we don't know what's beyond every corner.
Yeah, we just
and that's so fun.
We just go in and just, okay, I guess this is a thing now. I guess this is something I have to react to.
Yeah. Pow.
Well, this is hilariously, this episode has now gone long, as we mentioned early on, thinking it won't go long. But I would be remiss if we didn't take at least one email from our listeners. So you can send your emails to tacpodcast@gmail.com and make sure to include the word brawl somewhere in the subject field so we know it's for these episodes. This one comes from David Goodman. He says, hello, Cluckers and Cluckette. I'll keep it short. You want fun on this brawl? Play Hunter and only choose spells. It's absolute insanity and a control hunter's dream. Trap, 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 ball of spiders, more traps, deadly shot. You win by sapping the will to live out of your opponents. Signed, Detton. Thank you, Detton.
I'm gonna do that right after we get off.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish up my Priest daily. Then I'm gonna try this Hunter.
So. Oh hell yeah!
Oh man, thank you for that, Ted. That's amazing. I'm gonna try that immediately. So, well, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Angry Chicken Brawl. Justin, you're our guest. Where can folks find you?
Everybody can find me twitter.com/Justin R. Young. If you are into physical card games. You can play the party game that everybody's talking about. It is the Contender, thecontender.us, or you can find it on Amazon. If you enjoy games like Cards Against Humanity or Apples to Apples, start there, but then you are whisked into a world wherein you go back and forth with your friends in a presidential style debate using real quotes from real presidential candidates. It is, I think, a very interesting new mechanic, and anybody who's played it hopefully has liked it. At least they've told me to my face. So go ahead and check it out, thecontender.us right now. Awesome. And I will say, I own it, and it is a blast. I really enjoy the game. Hell, I had fun with it with your demo deck, which I think was like 1/7 the size of the deck that ended up shipping. Once you factor in both of our expansions, it was literally 1/7 of the size. Or 1/7 of the size. Yeah. So it's now our go-to when we have people over. Oh man, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good time. Unless my one buddy comes over who likes Magic, then it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. But everyone else who are normal functioning members of society. We play the Contender. Sure, exactly. If somebody's not lugging their big, cardboard box of Magic cards. Excuse me, sir. Mine is plastic and it has a dope-ass illustration on it. All right. Of wizards casting 1%. Magic. All right, 1%. Calm down, man. I'm the 1%. Yeah. I'm sure I'm the 1% in Magic. I'm sure there's not people out there who spend more money on decks than me. Oh, I know, jeez. Probably some titanium artifice for most people that requires its own litter of half-dressed men and women to shuffle their magic decks. Their Black Lotus on a bed. Exactly, and it's being fanned and fed grapes, despite the fact that it doesn't have a mouth. Like you just push grapes into the front of it, and it just falls down from its protective coating.
Anyways, make sure to tune in this upcoming Wednesday, folks. Just a reminder, the Angry Chicken Prime episode for the release of Whispers of the Old Gods is happening on Wednesday this next week, not Tuesday. And it's also happening an hour earlier at 3 p.m. Eastern, so that we hopefully have enough time to go through all of the cards that have been revealed and also talk about our experiences so far with the expansion. So tune into that 3 p.m. Eastern time this Wednesday on twitch.tv/amovetv. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast. And big, huge thanks to our patrons, because they're the reason we're doing these extra episodes. So thank you, patrons. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Declan H, LVE, Peter Williams, Maddock, and Louie. And that's going to do it. Follow me on Twitter at Garrett Art. Stick around for Into the Nexus in a few hours if you're into Heroes of the Storm. And until next time, job's done.
Job's done.